Well, now let's bring in Barry McLoughlin of McLoughlin Media. He is a crisis communication consultant and fellow in the Masters of Political Management program at Carleton University. Barry McLoughlin, good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Peter.
Thanks for being here. You've seen a lot of leaders in crisis over your career and helped some of them deal with those crises. How big is this crisis for Justin Trudeau?
At first I thought this would be a quick thing, get by it. But obviously it's got some legs attached to it. He's at a full 24 hours now. And he seems to have dug in a little deeper on this. I don't think people are going to give up on it as readily as they were before. Today he did a recovery kind of news conference where he was able to be fully apologetic, to say that it was because of his privilege that he didn't see all these things. He admitted to holding on to it because he was too embarrassed, so he didn't even tell his own team. He was as forthright and as apologetic as one could probably expect him to be.
So should he be surprised at where we are then? I mean, you've had a lot of experience at this, and when you know this kind of thing is hanging in your background and you're the leader of a country and there's an election campaign, would there have been a better, I mean, some people are suggesting, why didn't you come forward and tell your team? Is that something you typically see?
It is exactly the question point you have when you're brought in. A client will tell you something that's horribly embarrassing, that you know will be damaging. You have a choice to make. Do we get out before I cast my hat fully in the ring and tell everybody what I did? Or do you hold back and wait and see if they got it? He got by the 2015 election, even though that was in a 2001 yearbook. So maybe he was kind of, wow, it's pretty good. I got, it hasn't been raised in 18 years. But he left not only himself off guard, but he certainly left his campaign team off guard. So this is damage control. It's damage control. It's not even crisis management now, it's damage control. And usually in damage control, you want to have all the levers to try to end it. He's got most of the levers now, except for one thing.
What's the big thing?
The big thing is that if there's one more photo, one more video that comes to light, that will be doubly bad as to what he's experiencing today.
And is that because, like, interesting watching the news conference today, because he was asked a couple of times, is this it? And I think at one point he answered, I'm sort of, I'm a little wary to try and get into it because
he deflected that one.
So does that mean, which is worse? Knowing there's something else out there and not saying so, or not knowing there's more things out there, which would speak to, I didn't get it so much that I don't even know how many times I did this.
Well, I think if he's going to open a door, there probably is more. Then he's going to have to answer, okay, tell us in your own recollection, what were they? And then the hole is going to get deeper and deeper. The recollection thing, well, I suppose theoretically some of that may well be true. I think the real...
in the context, I guess, if he didn't get it, why it was a problem then, and he did it a number of other times, is it fair to think, okay, it didn't stick in my head that I had done that one because it wasn't a big deal to me back then, I didn't get it?
Well, he seems to imply that we've all kind of become woke since then. But, really, we all knew in 2001 you weren't going to be doing that. The stuff in 1990s, it looks like the third one that's come out today, it looks like it's somewhere murkily...
Sounds like he sort of alluded, it sounded like this might have been when he was a rafting instructor or a river raft guide.
Yeah. It's in his pre-teaching days, but that was really awkward too. So I guess the problem is here now, what is the real damage to Justin Trudeau? Is it that he's a racist? I don't think Canadians believe Justin Trudeau is a racist. I really don't think that's true. I think history has changed. We've all evolved. I was in high school. I remember a number of things very similar to that in high school that were done by students who thought those things were funny. But even then there'd be kind of an eyebrow raised.
That's not funny.
But that's not funny. But now we aren't going to tolerate that. The challenge for him is this. He made this election really about values. Are you going to go backwards with Scheer and the Tories and their values? Look at that video from 2003 or whatever it was, 2005 of Andrew Scheer. Look at those values. We have the values of today. It's taken a hit on his values. Mm-hmm. And the second thing that it's done is it's blunted his ability to continue to throw more jelly at the wall to see what sticks on the behavior of his opponents, in this case mostly the Tories. So it's going to hurt his ability to move forward on the attack front, which you pretty well have to do a certain amount of. So I think it's kind of a double hit on him.
Maybe, as you look at it now, does it look like it could be a campaign killer, or is it too early to tell?
I think that people are typically overreacting to a certain extent here. It's an emotionalized situation. I think fast forward 2 weeks from now, it'll be there, people remember it, and people that really care about it will perhaps vote accordingly. It might hurt him in a number of seats, but I don't think at the end of the day on October 21st we're going to say this is what ended his government. I don't believe so. I think it's an inflection point. It's going to blunt any kind of momentum he was getting. And it will take a hit, probably more to the NDP and possibly Green. But I think Jagmeet Singh has done amazingly well in the response to this. I mean, he is the authentic voice to talk about racist kind of activities that he's had to suffer. He's played that amazingly well.
Yeah, he's managed to make it not about Justin Trudeau at all. I mean, it's Justin Trudeau's comments, but he's saying what I'm really concerned about is the people who live with the hurt.
Right, and it was from an authentic base. He actually, I watched it carefully, his first comment that he did, he really choked up when he talked about it. I think it is genuine, obviously, in his case. He's got to be careful about make the same point about Andrew Scheer. They have to be very careful in not overplaying their hand. If you go too far, it can bounce back against you. So I think they'd like to keep Justin Trudeau's feet to the fire on this for as many news cycles, days as they possibly can. But they should be careful of going too far in their attacks.
All right, what's the next, in your experience, and you've sort of touched it, I'll wrap it into a nice little ball, but what are the things we watch for in the days ahead for where this goes?
Well, you're already going to see Justin Trudeau already now moving to scheduled campaign events. He's already underway on those. I think that is the right thing to do. There's only so much bleeding you can do. I do think I would love to see him meet with a group of visible minorities, to sit down with them, to listen to them, to engage them.
He's been working the phones, he said today.
Yeah, never working the phones. We got to see him and let them give him a beating, like a verbal kind of, sir, I want to say directly to you what this has meant to me and my family, what has happened. And he needs to be seen to be listening to them and caring. I think he actually should do that. And secondly, once he's done this, absent a surprise other video or photo, he must continue on with his campaign. A prime minister can make news. He can make news every single day on issues that matter to people, and he's got to get back on it. He's wiped out this week, thanks very much, but maybe he can start fresh in the next several days to get going and try to lift this plane off the runway.
All right, Barry McLoughlin, good to speak to you.
My pleasure, Peter.